ask questions of the management, and if you give proper notice, you can propose motions, you can propose elections, you can propose anything which company law in the United Kingdom allows. Fortunately for me, nobody's proposed any business, so we can be very informal. In fact, so informal, I'm very happy if people interrupt me when I'm talking to ask questions and so on. However, for those who are shy, at the end of this meeting, there will be a question and answer and discussion time for everybody. And then we'll go off and have our dinners, I guess. I'm very pleased to see that this meeting has been brought forward by half an hour, because I know a lot of us want to go back to our hotels after a long day, we've got jet lag, we're hungry and so on. So I'll try and go through this as fast as possible. What does the society actually do? A lot of our activities, and they're quite burdensome in fact, go on behind the scenes. Nobody actually sees a society except at conferences like this. But actually, there's a lot of administrative work, there's a lot of explaining and communicating and so on. Elections and appointments. Well, membership, awards, charity. These are the topics I'm going to cover in this presentation. There's a mission statement for the society. Our object is to promote condensed matter nuclear science for the benefit of the public. What does that mean? It means we can't promote science for our own benefit. We must be careful of conflicts of interest. We must make quite sure if we're collecting money from government or from charitable donations, they're used for a proper cause. This doesn't mean that we can't offer discounts for members to attend conferences, which we have in fact done in the past, because there's no conflict there. That's part of promoting the field. And who better to promote the field than the members who have goodwill towards this scientific field. A major source of commitment is organising meetings. I've had a tendency to organise one about every 2 years. Sometimes it's maybe more frequent than that, sometimes less. And last year we managed to organise the 11th International Workshop on anomalies in hydrogen-related metals in Toulouse with the sponsorship of Airbus. And I think the chief scientist of Airbus, Jean-François, is present at this meeting, present at the conference. I didn't see him. Another very, very important activity is, of course, the management of the electronic journal, the Journal of Condensed Matter Nuclear Science. And I think we want to thank Jean-Paul Senday for superhuman efforts. He really manages this journal by himself. But I have to pay all the money for the cost. I think there's a tendency these days for the organisers of ICCFs to ask ISCMC to publish the proceedings in our electronic journal. And this makes a lot of sense because people actually prefer to have electronic copies of papers rather than printed ones. It's a lot cheaper and distribution costs are zero. Another advantage of having everything electronic is the entire electronic library of the society can fit onto a DVD. We have over 1,400 papers, original papers, which we're allowed to publish. And so this is a very valuable resource. And last but not least, the society recognises excellence in the field by making awards, and I will be talking about what kind of medals we've been able to present a little bit later on. Well, the situation as of last year in Padova was that the entire executive committee retired. That's a polite way of putting it. No, there was no ill will or anything like that. It's just that elections had not been held, and it was thought that it should be clear to everybody that there are some vacancies. at the International Advisory Committee meeting held also in Panama, Gino, let's say, Mahabiba Srinivasan was proposed to as chairman of the so-called ad hoc committee, and we had a meeting in Panama, and we set out some of the things we would like to do. I don't think all those objectives have been achieved yet, but it put the society in a certain direction. And some of the things discussed, for example, was a young person's division of the society. I don't think anything has actually come of this, but the idea was there that we should involve young people, just as Mike McCoobie said, or as Mike McCoobie wrote, and we had to hear this morning. So, as the executive committee is now reduced to just 2 people, that is to say Jean-Paul and myself, we have some vacancies and we can fill another 9 places. Actually, I think there should be 8 places, and I think the maximum according to the Constitution is 10 places. The most prestigious post, of course, is President. The President is entitled to intervene at any level in the society. He automatically attends any subcommittee meetings. He proposes policy, which in theory the Executive Committee can approve, and if it's a very important matter, it might even be put to the annual general meeting like this one. I act as membership secretary, effectively, which basically means taking in applications, sending out certificates of membership, creating an electronic archive of all the members and communicating with members. The treasurer doesn't do a great deal, except he has to file the statutory accounts of the society, and that is something that would normally be done by an accountant, but to save money, I do it myself, and it's quite burdensome. It's not something you do every day, so it's quite stressful, actually. Because if you make a mistake, you get fined. And we'll talk about how to reduce the cost and risks of this kind of bureaucracy in a moment. And Ruby Carrot has very kindly, I couldn't quite say volunteered, but she's going to be the webmaster of the society. And I think we'll, in fullness of time, probably before the end of the year, we'll see a much improved website, which is really showing its age. I take full responsibility for this website, of course, but I'm not an expert web programmer. I've learned a little bit as I go along. It's getting more and more difficult to maintain a website which was dependent on software which is now completely out of date. The situation as of now is we have 230 members of the society, which is record high. Most of you, however, don't pay your dues, so that's a problem. And a lot of people automatically get free subscription. If your income is less than 10,000 euros a year, and I automatically assume that people from certain countries, which I won't mention, don't achieve that income, then you join the society for free. Otherwise, it costs 30 euros. So ISCMC at this moment is in a somewhat fragile state. It needs people to volunteer. It needs donations. In fact, most of our income comes from donations, and most of that money goes into supporting the journal. Remember, nobody pays for a copy of the journal, so the only way to keep it going is for people to, out of their goodness of their hearts, to make some donations. And those donations, at least from the USA and from England, are tax deductible. So if you think you make a nice donation, thank you very much, do get in contact, and I'll tell you how you can get your tax back. You see, not previous. Okay, I think I've covered that. I think the last paragraph here about the Constitution is an interesting one. I have been told that our current constitution is far too complicated, and that's probably true. And an opportunity is really coming up now to completely rewrite it. Not because of any defects in it particularly, but because we want to take advantage of some new legislation. At the moment, as I was saying, there's quite a lot of administrative burden in running a society. And I would like very much, before I resign from the executive committee myself, to at least pass over to a younger generation a bureaucracy which is going to be a lot less burdensome, easier, less costly, and so on. At the moment, things are bureaucratic because the society is regulated by Companies House, which is like a chamber of commerce in other countries, where companies are registered, and it's Companies House registers all companies in England and Wales. In addition, because we're a charity, we're regulated with another set of Companies Acts and legislation by the so-called Charity Commission. But I have to say, of the two bosses, I far prefer the Charity Commission because they are understanding. They're written by people who are probably working themselves for the love of the common good, whereas the Companies House just wants